I'm Coach Dave. Welcome back to Coach's Corner.
Come on.
All right, welcome to Coach's Corner. Today, we have a very, very, very good guest here in Mike Squires, coming to us from Stamford, Connecticut. Mike has a very unique story going on today, not only as a content creator. You've probably seen him all over social media with what he's been doing down in Stamford, a lot of great projects happening over there. But why we brought Mike in here today is not only for that reason, but Mike will be having his first boxing match on November 14th at the Greenwich Hyatt on a charity white-collar show. Welcome, Mike. Thank you for taking the time out. Come on Coach's Corner. Appreciate you.
Thank you for the intro, dude. I feel appropriate to be here now that I'm getting a little bit into the boxing world.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, look, we've talked, through the studio a couple times here, and, you've had a great year. You've been pretty busy with your projects, following you on social media. But before we get into the boxing end, and we'll delve into that, let's talk about what led you to the Macy's project.
Yeah, we could talk about it, dude. So a lot of people don't know this, but I have a music studio that's inside of the Stamford Town Center, which is attached to the Macy's. So I literally walked by that Macy's building every single day. And I think I just got tired of looking at it. Like, it's funny. It's funny how things happen, though, because for months I was actually talking to one of my friends, and I just was like, dude, I think I'm gonna get this Macy's building clean. And he's like, don't do it. He's like, why? It's like not your responsibility. I'm just like, no one's gonna do it. Like, someone's got to do it. So I ended up, stepping up, making that social media video, just saying like, I've been trying to get this Macy's power washed, and one thing led to another. That video ended up getting pretty much like 500,000 views in the first couple of days. Now it's at like, a couple million. But it ended up going crazy on social media.
So you come up with this idea, right? Big mall, big area, development company owns the mall and the project over there, and you come up with this idea to clean it. How did it gain momentum, like from the idea to the actuality of like people said, he's for real. He wants to do this. And, how did you get to that point and putting it all together?
Yeah, so I'll walk through it. So in January, I actually made a post about the Macy's building just on my like Facebook or something. And I was just like, does anyone know a power washer or anything to get this done? And that actually got like a little traction, nothing compared to what ended up happening. And then I think in March, I ended up doing kind of like the same thing. I'm like, hey, I'm still trying to connect with a power washer to find this. Then I end up doing the infamous video where I just like stood outside and I was like, I've been trying to get this Macy's power washed. And you know what's funny about that video? What I'm holding in that video is actually boxing gloves, which is kind of like funny in hindsight. But so I do that video, and then I'm starting to see the comments going trickle and trickle and trickle, and it's like, okay, 10,000 views, 20,000. I woke up the next morning, it's got 500,000 views, and like, people are like sharing it like crazy. I got every power washer in the tri-state area messaging me at this point. And so at this point, I'm connecting with the Stamford Town Center, Dan, the mall manager. And, I ask him, how much did it cost to get the Macy's cleaned last time? He goes and asks them, it cost $50,000 last time they got it. To get it like properly cleaned up and everything, $50,000. And that's like with all the proper chemicals and everything. That's not what I was trying to do. I was like, bottom dollar, just get it done, because it hadn't been touched for like a decade. So after I get the $50,000 quote, and I know that Macy's isn't going to pay that, I'm just starting to get quotes from power washers in the area. And I feel comfortable talking about numbers because I've talked with Ralph about it and asked him it's okay that I share this, and he said yes. But so Ralph quoted me $19,500, and I told everybody too, that the quote I needed had to be like bottom dollar cost.
So you're trying to be transparent about this whole thing just to get the project done.
Correct, exactly. So you know what I mean? Like, it's a bottom dollar, not getting it done fully properly, you know what I mean? But just to get it done like something, because otherwise it wouldn't have got done. So Ralph quotes me $19,500. So I'm like, okay, great. So we go back to Macy's, and I'm like, Macy's, we saved you $30,000. Pay the $19,500. It's done. They're like, no. So I'm like, okay. So I go to the mall and I'm like, hey, Dan, this affects your business. Would you guys be willing to throw in some money towards this? Because, everybody thinks the Macy's is part of the mall. And he was like, yeah, we would throw something in. He's like, we'll throw in $6,500, a third of it. So I was like, amazing. He's like, we should go to downtown and ask them and see if we can get them to throw some money in too. So Dan helps me alley-oop that, goes to downtown. He gets $6,500 additionally. So now we have 13 grand. So now
almost there.
Yeah, almost there. So we only need $6,500 more. So I go back to Macy's and I'm like, Macy's, great news. Last time you guys paid $50,000. This time, all you got to pay is $6,500. Job is done. Building is clean. They're like, no. So I'm like, oh man. So I call Ralph the power washer and I was like, Ralph, I got 13,000 of your 19,500. I was like, I'm going to be fighting for that extra $6,500 till the end. But the truth is, I don't think Macy's is going to come forward and pay that. Would you be willing to do it? And I almost guarantee that if you do it, you will get the $6,500 worth of promotion from this. And he told me that he had so many people reaching out to him because of all the momentum everything had, that he would do it for me as a favor for the 13 grand. And keep in mind, like, when you sign up for a project like that, it's expensive to put on a project. So like, Ralph getting 13 grand is pretty much Ralph doing it at cost.
Yeah, bottom line.
Yeah, there were like times, and I'll tell you even more about it too, where we had to like ask for favors and stuff too, and people stepped up to help us. But just to put it in perspective, like, we spent $2 grand in water. You know what I mean? Like, alone. So it's like, then you're at 11. It's like, okay, well, we got the lifts, we got the permits, the cops,
the
like,
labor,
everything. You know what I mean? So like, at the end of it, like, nobody got rich off of this. You know what I mean? It
wasn't just like they showed up with the power washer and said, hey, we're going to start power washing the building. There had to be a plan and a process put into place.
Yeah, but I think the whole Macy's thing too, I think it cracked into like some civic pride. Like, I just wanted to see my city clean. Like, I want to be proud of the place that I'm from, and it's hard to be proud of a place when it's messy. You know what I mean?
And you look at a big corporation like Macy's, after the project, right, just to fast forward a little, what was their feedback? Because you came up with the idea, right? You figured, what's $6,500 to Macy's?
Oh, a drop in the bucket.
They paid 50 grand originally, right? So you've knocked that down well over 75%, right? What's 6,500 plus all the exposure?
Oh yeah, no, they got a good little press run out of me for that. But I met with the Macy's staff there, and like, the staff that are in the Stamford brand, like, they're the nicest people and they don't have any say over it, and even like the manager who I spoke to there, like, they would go to their higher ups and get turned down, because it seemed like the people that were at the local branch wanted to help, So overall though, it was just like a really good community building thing too. I think that was like the biggest thing, where it's like the reaction like that I got from people, and like, dude, we'd be out there like, standing on the corner of Macy's and people would be just honking their horn as we were and I ended up getting on the news because of this.
You got a lot of,
it was a crazy
stuff.
run,
I was
dude.
watching it from a distance, obviously knowing who you are and everything, and a great, community thing that you did there. From start to finish, when you guys actually started the process, how long did it take?
So I think power washing started exactly a month after I posted that first video. So I posted that first video, and then 30 days later was the first day we started power washing. And then I think from there, it took us like a week and some change, because like, we weren't allowed, because it was a holiday weekend or something. Like, there was some sort of holiday weekend in May that we weren't allowed to do it on.
Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, it was Memorial Day weekend. So we were, we took that weekend off, and I think we started like on a Wednesday, Thursday. But, it's a big building. When he got up there are two things. When he got up there, it was like a really satisfying moment for me, because nobody was believing that we were actually getting it done. So, when people started seeing it getting cleaned, it was like, I saw them like, oh, you're actually doing it. And it was like, yeah, I've been working my butt off for a month straight to try to figure this out, So that was like a really rewarding feeling. And then also the flip side of that though is, once we got up there and you started watching, you realize how big of a project this is. It's like, and by the, towards the end, they had like such a good system in place, but like, going up on those lifts, I'm grateful that I didn't have to do it. That's where I really commend Ralph and everything. 'Cause like, it's scary up there, you know? And
Yeah, you're pretty high up. Now, he was a local company?
yeah.
How did you decide who, like you said, you had a lot of response from the pressure washer companies out there. How did you break it down?
A lot of people were specifically messaging me about Ralph. Like they were like, I got a ton of, like, I saw that he had reached out and he just had a good support system of people like saying, you got to work with Ralph, you got to, and I think there was just like a sense of like civic pride that I could sense from him. You know what I mean? Like it seemed like he wanted to do it for the right reasons. You know what I mean?
Professionalism from the videos looked pretty good. It didn't look like some guy up there just spray watering the thing down. Is that something like, I know you're doing a lot of content.
Yeah.
You have the stuff with the music in the States when we were talking. And did you envision it going like, you started off with an idea, and I'm sure everybody thought that the idea was just maybe to create content, that there was no real pride or sense of doing something behind it. Did you sense what transpired?
If I joke with my friends all the time. I was like, if I knew that cleaning a building was going to change my life, would have done it years ago. You know what I mean? But you know, I think the thing that I just wanted to get into the habit of posting a lot. You know what I mean? Like just keep putting myself out there. And you know, the Macy's thing actually happened right after, you know, our mutual friend Ian Bick. He was on the Mr. Beast video.
Right.
So I went down and visited him. And when I flew back home, I walked to my gym and walked back. And that's when I filmed the Macy's video. So I was just kind of also like experiencing this like euphoric of just seeing how Mr. Beast production looks, because it's an insane operation. So I don't know. I think leaving there made me want to do something just bigger than myself. Right. Yeah. And I just got lucky, I guess. First hit when I'm home, dude. Yeah. Home run.
Now, you grew up in Stamford, correct?
Born and raised.
Born and raised in Stamford. What was the community, once this project started, people who knew you and people that you grew up with and, you know, people who didn't even know you, what was the response you were getting from this?
It's crazy. I like it. It's been really rewarding, but like, I don't know how to describe it other than like I became like, and I don't know if it lasts, how long it lasts for, but like I low-key became like a local celebrity. Like, you know, I'm taking photos, people are honking the horn, and I'm like, to me, I think it's a little like, I'm not trying to say it's silly, but to me it's silly. It's like I cleaned a building and it's made me like this.
Well, it's news, okay? You hit the local news. You had reporters there.
Yeah, we hit New York news too.
New York news,
crazy.
You know what? And, you know, so, look, people just don't do that. I mean, you had a major corporation didn't want to do it. You're a guy walking by, Stamford resident says, "Hi, I got an idea. Let's clean the building in Macy's," who's a major corporation department store for many, many years. And, you know, for the lack of anything, they don't give a shit about what it looked like.
Yeah, I will say this, though. I genuinely do care. Like, I care about how things look. I care about how things are. And that for everything that I do. You know, I think how you do anything is how you do everything. So it's like, I also had the thought too, it's where it's like my studio's in the back there. I'm like, do I really want someone to like pull up to my studio and see this like dinky, dirty building too? Right. You know what I mean? So, but I just was tired of looking at it. Like sometimes it's just kind of like anything, you know, like if you have like a mess at your house, like eventually you're going to just get tired of looking at it and just do something about it, you know?
So now you're in it knee deep. Now you got to maintain it.
So I'm not ready to announce it yet. So I will walk around it lightly, but I did get some good news that I may not have to worry about maintaining it because somebody may step up and just maintain it, you know? That's all I can say. I can't guarantee anything right now, but that's where that situation's at. And I got that news and I was feeling good about it. So I may not have to worry, but if I do have to worry, I guess you'll see me in a couple of years.
I mean, that's great stuff. And I see you doing other stuff with cleanup up there. Before we 360 into the box again, right? I'm going to ask you a question here.
Talk to me.
Aspiration of being a politician.
You know, it's funny. I get it all the time. You know, voting is tomorrow at the time of this recording. And
we could have threw your name in as a write-in.
You know, it's funny.
Just for kicks and giggles, you know what I mean?
So people are writing. People have messaged me and they told me that they're writing in my name tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a politician. I really just enjoy being a social media guy.
Yeah.
who's just doing good. And like, cause I don't know, with the politician, like I think politics are too divisive and I really want to be for everybody. You know what I mean? So I think my role, at least this is how I'm feeling right now. Who knows how time changes, but as of this moment right now, I think I am best where I'm at, you know, being a social media guy.
Well, you're doing it from the heart. You're doing it without any, other reason because, you want your
good,
community,
dude. I really
you're doing
enjoy
something, you're giving back. Has anybody else reached out to you about doing anything else in the city of Stamford?
All the time, dude. And it's like, it's actually pretty intense. I'm doing my best, but like, I mean, I pretty much get DMs daily as if I was a politician, but it's honestly been really helpful too, because I read what everyone says. So that's how I like determine the other projects I've been like taking on. So like, for example, the Scalzi, playground for the kids was really dirty. I
saw that. I mean, look, that's a great, at any level, whoever's doing that, and I know you did, that's a great thing because these playgrounds today, they don't get maintained. They're the first things that get cut in neighborhoods, for funding or anything else. And they get overgrown and crappy. And where do these kids have to go today?
Yeah, no, it's like, I'm just happy to step in places where I can, you know what I mean? And like, that was like after Macy's, everything is feeling easier. Macy's was a tough one to tackle, but like we did like a pop-up at Cummings Beach in Stamford where the community could come down and like, just try to breathe some more life into it. So I really listen to what people, that's my biggest thing.
And you're getting people to help now behind it, right? So getting people behind you on this, right?
That are
willing to volunteer.
Huge part of it. I mean, we just did a citywide cleanup 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, and we had 400 people outside that just stepped up and helped. You know what I mean? So
that's outstanding.
I'm putting that video together now, but it's like, it's been crazy. And, my DMs are filled with people because I think there's two sides. I think there's two sides where it's like, people want to step up and help because they want to see the community better, but they also saw what it did for like Ralph's business. You know what I mean? Where it's like,
I think it's important, as to give back where you can.
Oh, yeah.
And, sometimes it's not money, it's sweat equity.
Yeah.
It's a donation of your labor. It's an idea.
And you could have fun while doing it too. I mean, we did the citywide cleanup. I was in the river, and I had a lot of fun though. Like, it was kind of like searching for not treasure because you wouldn't bring any of this stuff home, but it was just like fun searching the river, and just trying something that's new.
Yeah, awesome. Let's 360 now.
Let's do it, dude.
All right, let's 360. So you're throwing your hat in the boxing world.
Yes.
November 14th, you fight on White Collar Show run by Revolution Boxing in Stamford, Ahmad Mickens and Chordale Booker, friends of ours over here. And when I heard about it, very excited for you. Let's talk about what led you to it.
Yeah.
What was the decision making? Because here's the deal, right? Boxing finds people in different ways. Everybody has a different why they want to be involved. Whether you want to be a professional, an amateur, you want to train. To me, it's just a calling that calls to you. You just don't find it, So what was it for you? What was the calling? What was the why?
Yeah, so Core gave me a call, and I don't know, in hindsight, I don't know if he was asking me to actually like fight on it, but he was like letting me know, he's like, I'd love to have you involved with our white collar boxing. And then he put me on the phone with Nat, and I was talking with Nat, and when I spoke with her, she was like more like, oh, you're going to fight. And I was just like, I was like, I'll fight. I wasn't that hard to convince. And then she gave the phone back to Core, and he's like, oh, you're gonna fight? I was like, oh, that's what I thought this was.
So what do you think they were contacting you for? Maybe to help with the social media?
Maybe I don't know, but maybe they wanted me to fight. Like I might have just been confused in the moment, but I also was genuinely like into.
Were you training previously at all? Or
so I'm in the gym, like but doing like strength conditioning,
right?
So
no boxing conditioning.
No boxing.
No boxing.
I started boxing for the first time 4 weeks ago.
All right.
I've punched a bag before, you know what I mean? But what I learned is like when I started boxing, I learned that like anything I was doing before, like, my technique and my stances and everything could have been.
Well, look, you're in a great place. Chordale Booker's high-level fighter, just had a big fight with Fundora. Last year, his previous opponent up in Boston a couple of months ago. I've known Chordale a long time. Great trainer. great person. Ahmad, who runs Revolution over there, all the trainers, great facility. You're in a great place. I mean,
I wouldn't have taken on the fight if Chordale wasn't training.
Yeah,
me.
obviously, you're around people who know how to prepare you. What was your anticipation of the first day walking in, and what were you? Because you really probably didn't know what to expect.
Yeah. Well, I will say this, just throughout the entire process, I got to commend Chordale on his patience. You know what I mean? Because every moment, like, I've been learning the entire time, and like, there's not any moment where he's like made me feel bad. You know what I mean? But like, I'll go watch the video of me on the first day now because I've been like really documenting the process, and I like look at that video and I was like, oh my God, I was terrible. You know what I mean? It's only a month ago. I know it's like,
but you're being fast tracked here.
Yeah.
So I know, and I'm not going to use the word. I know Chordale is probably moving you along a little quicker than if he was breaking you right from the beginning, because, obviously you got an event, right? So, but after the first day, did you have second thoughts?
No. I only had second thoughts once, and that was maybe like 2 weeks ago where I was sparring and I just was getting obliterated, dude.
Was that the first sparring that you
had?
My
first sparring, my first couple sparrings were tough for me. You know what I mean? Because it's a silly reason, but I didn't want to punch people. You know what I mean? I'd get to like in front of somebody and I wouldn't want to punch them, so I just would be straight defense. But doing straight defense is like, I'm just taking.
See, this is the difference, especially people who come into the gym and they escalate to they want to spar, they want to fight, right? You don't know because you don't have the experience. And it's nothing against anybody, right? And now you have all the things that you hear Chordale trying to work with you previously, and you're trying to put that all in your head for 2 minutes while you're working with a guy in front of you who's now putting pressure on you. Maybe he's hitting you. It's interrupting your flow, and everything else starts to come in. But I can tell you it gets easier.
Yeah, and, even in the short time, because one thing I'm really good at is like watching the footage back and seeing like what I'm doing. Because like, when I see these first clips of me sparring, I'm like looking at these videos. I'm like, oh, I see somebody who's afraid right now. Like I need to change that. So then the next time I get in there and I take it, it's like, okay, goal for today, don't look afraid. You know what I mean? So then I'll watch that video back and it's like, okay, still afraid, but like you held your ground this time. You know what I mean? So I'm really good at kind of watching the tape back.
Tape is great. Yeah. I'm a tape guy. I mean, back in the day before we had our phones and social media and, quick internet, you actually had to have a VHS of a fighter or reel. It was hard to watch tape on fighters, right? But now we throw our phone, we're able to video, okay, this is what you're doing, right? And then we could show you, or you could look at it and say, yeah, I understand what you're saying. I see what you mean. Okay, let's clean it up. Then we do another reel. Okay, yeah, it's starting to look better. It's starting to look better till eventually it's where we need. But if you're watching tape, that's a great resource for you to improve. A lot of people don't.
Oh, I'm obsessive over it. And like I have this one video of like what I consider my best sparring yet so far. And, I watched that one back and just seeing like the moments where my opponent got me. I look at the moments where, I just think I could have been better, where I like left myself open, got to make sure I got to keep my hands up. Like just I like really study it because one, I care. And it's kind of like, even with anything I do, like Macy's, my 50 states, anything that I have done, I kind of get obsessive over it because it just takes over my life, dude. Like I'm going to bed thinking of like combos now, so it's like.
Yeah, boxing has a way to do that, at every level. It kind of consumes you like that. What's your training like? What's your schedule like? Because most people, right? Most people don't understand. You're preparing to fight.
Yeah.
Okay? It is a fight. It is not anything but a fight. So you're going to walk in the ring with someone who's going to punch at you and you're going to punch at someone. So there is a preparation. Most people don't understand what the preparation is to get to that night. Now, we're almost a week out. You'll be a week out on Friday of getting ready to fight, right?
Yeah.
What is your preparation like? And from day one, how has that changed? Because, we were talking a little bit. You're working out twice a day right now, pretty much. And
yeah, I'll tell you the whole everything. So when I started, I was working out twice a day. So I was doing, learning with core, like just getting because keep in mind, I like learned my boxer stance a month ago. You know what I mean? It's like I'm green to the game. You know, making sure my jabs are looking better, that I'm like turning over the fist. And so I've been doing that. And then I was doing strength and conditioning at Metabolic, which I've been doing since January, you know? So I was doing both of those twice a day. And then Chordale turned the fire up a little bit to the point where I was like, okay, I just got to hone in on the boxing now. You know what I mean? Because the strength, if I do both, my body's going to fall apart because, you know, at this point, like core is doing everything. Like we're getting boxing in, we're getting full body workouts in. So I just focus on like the boxing. And if I decide to go twice a day, you know what I mean? I'll go back to the boxing gym versus, you know what I mean? My strength and conditioning. But no, it's been like a really learning process. And, you know, like I said, having Chordale in my corner has been huge because, again, I don't think I would have taken on the fight, and just having his guidance like is just helping with my overall confidence in my ability.
You know, look, you have a professional, a high level professional. That's definitely going to build your confidence right there. You look to the corner and you see him there encouraging you, him there training you properly, you know, making sure. One thing is this in the fight game, right? You have to prepare your people. So that preparation is you need to have someone, you know, whether it's a Chordale Booker or another trainer that knows how to prepare you properly. And what I mean like that is, look, the rah-rah of, like you said, you know, some trainers are going to overwork you to the fact that your body's taxed and you can't perform and you mentally and physically are not going to be able to perform. But you're being done in such a short time as how do we get you from point A to point B to point C in a really quick amount of time so that you feel comfortable and you have progressed and that you're going to feel good going into the fight.
And Core's really good with that too because, you know, even today, like I'm probably going to end up, you know, doing some jump rope and whatnot, but like today is like a day off for me. You know what I mean? And Core's like, because I told him, I was like, dude, my body's like starting to feel it. Like if I keep going, I'm going to be cooked. You know, so he's like, you know, take the time. You know what I mean? Like but just come back and make sure you're coming back strong. You know what I mean? Because like, you know, a lot of these movements are new for me. I'm still like tense in certain areas. So it's like, I don't want to be my own worst enemy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you also like, look, you're working, you have other stuff going on in your life. You know, recovery is very important in sports today. Boxing, especially if you're taxing your body. And you are learning a lot of movements, you're conditioning. Are you running a lot or?
Yeah. So running, I'm definitely running, but I'm doing like like jump rope is what I've been, you know, it's funny. Like I arguably did not know how to jump rope before this. Like I knew how to jump rope, but like I really got it down to like, it's looking nice now.
Yeah, it looks good. It's therapeutic. You can get a nice workout there.
Yeah.
So, you know, this process, you said your first couple of sparrings.
Yeah.
You know, how did you feel when they told you were going to spar the first time?
You know, I was not like I don't get nervous, dude. Like I don't
think it's not to cut you off. I don't think it's a nervousness. I think what happens with beginners, it's anxiety.
There was probably like a little bit of anxiousness. Yeah. You know,
which is natural.
I just am not natural. I'm not naturally like a violent or aggressive person. You know what I mean? So it's like to go in there and like, oh, you got to punch this dude in the face right now. It's like, it's just not something that I went 30 years without, you know, getting punched in the face.
Boxing is not all about violence. Boxing is a controlled aggression, a controlled
which
chaos.
I'm learning now.
You know what I mean? Because look, it's tactical, right? You have to be calm in the sense to be calculated to perform properly in the ring. It's when you're anxious and, you know, you have that street fight mentality where you've seen guys fight on the street or in the bars or in the club. They're just going crazy, wailing and wailing. No, that's not boxing.
Yeah.
That you're in control. You're taking care of yourself. You're defensive. That's it. How was your first sparring? Was it what you expected or was it different?
I didn't land a punch. Because I think there's two reasons for that. One, I wasn't throwing them hard enough or like even just like snapping my jabs. And then two, I like really did not want it. Like I got it. I just remember getting in the ring and like not wanting to hit my opponent. Like, you know, and that was like a hump I had to get over, you know, or anytime I would like even just hit him, I'd be like, my bad. You know what I mean? Like and then it took me getting hit a ton to realize that like, oh,
you better hit back.
Yeah, I gotta hit back.
How many rounds did you spar?
Oh, there are some days so the sparring, we've gone like, I think, like it depends on the day because I've sparred a good amount now. I still need to spar more though. But I mean, so the reason why I'm like hesitant because like we would spar, but like it would be like spar drills. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
where
you're
it's
drilling,
like
you're working.
You know what I mean? And like those times, like when we were drilling, I might have won like 10. You know what I mean? But we were like working like left hand only. You know what I mean? Things like that. But I think like sparring, like just all, you know what I mean, full head, maybe like 5 rounds, maybe 5. And I'll tell you, there was this one funny day that Core got me. So this is like last week. And Core says we're going to spar 3 rounds, 2 minutes, exactly what your fight is. So I was like, okay, perfect. So, and I was up against a dude like much bigger than me, right? And so we're going back and forth. He's getting me good. Like I'm still figuring myself out. In the last round, I was like, I feel like I finally
had a breakthrough
and made it happen, but I completely cooked myself because it was the last round in my head. So I'm like there, like out of breath, third one, I'm feeling good. And then I'm like on the ropes, just like catching my breath. And Core's like, all right, one more. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, one more. And I was like, nah, dude, you said 3. Like, this is my last one. He goes, one more. I proceeded to just get my ass kicked in that round. I was just like, I was so tired. My arms were so sore. I was just getting bullied. But yeah, there was a lesson that I learned there. And it's, you know, maybe just, I mean, I would have paced myself better if I knew, but you know, I definitely took a couple punches. I've gotten used to getting hit now, which is actually, I think, a good thing, you know?
Well, the thing is, look, you're going to fight 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay? You can't look at, okay, the 6 minutes. You're doing the training. Once you get in your head, forget the time that you can calculate, you know, how to move in and out of the ring. The reason he did that is he knew you were cooked.
Yeah.
He wanted to see what you had left to go back out.
Yeah.
And do it one more time, okay? So you got to get past that anxiousness, that, okay, because it's not a lot of time. But I know what it's like in the ring. I know that 2 minutes feels like an eternity. It does. When's the bell going to ring? When am I going to sit down? Blah, 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 blah. It's this thing. No, because you got so many emotions going through. Once you can get that relaxed, and that comes by being able to jump rope and being relaxed, shadow box and being relaxed, shadow box, go to the bag. But now the fight's getting surreal. It's getting closer and closer.
Yeah.
How are you going to walk in between the next week and now? Is it becoming surreal in your head a little more, or now you're looking forward to the event and you're feeling comfortable from the first day you came in?
I do it how I do anything, dude, with confidence. You know, I think part of anything that you do is just believing in yourself and being confident. Because if you don't, you know, your opponent will be able to slip through the cracks and get. So, you know, I've been working hard for this. I'm confident in my ability thus far. My opponent's at like the same level as me. So, you know, I feel good. You know what I mean? And I'm going to give it my all. You know, I think that's all I can do at the end of the day. And
you go in and give it, you're going to be prepared. What's the reactions from your friends and family about this?
Oh man, mixed bag. The first reaction that comes to mind was one of my friend's dads. And I told him I was going to box. And keep in mind, like, anybody who knows me, this was like very out of left field. You know what I mean? Nobody was looking for me to box. You know what I mean? No one was like, oh, Mike Squires should box. So when I told him, he just like laughed. He just like was laughing on the phone. And I was like, dang, dude. Like, it kind of put a battery in my back too. Cause I was like, all right, like, let me actually lock in and do this. But you know, my dad actually was more excited about it. He was like, oh, he's like, I think this will be good. You know, he was like, he thought it'd be a good thing. My mom was very anxious and didn't like the idea of it. My girlfriend was the one who, when I initially got asked to do it, I talked to her and she said that I should do it for the lore, the story of it. And and for me, like, I just think how many other opportunities am I going to have to, you know, train with hardcore and, do this. You know what I mean? So I was like, now is probably the moment.
Listen, to add to what your girlfriend said, all right, look, you have to do certain things for yourself. You answer certain questions about yourself. Boxing answers questions about yourself, okay? It tells me or tells you, because I'm sure there's training sessions that said, man, what the fuck am I doing here? What am I doing? I don't need to do this. My body's sore. I'm getting up. I'm training. It all crosses everybody's mind, whether you're an amateur or pro. Should I stop? Should I not? You have to answer that question. I like the idea that, you know what? In 30 years from now, you're going to sit down with your wife, your kids, your grandkids, whatever your family. Yeah, I had a boxing match. And it's not like, oh, yeah, I played baseball or football, whatever. People look at you and they look at boxing and they're like, you boxed, because they assimilate boxing to what's on television, right? They don't realize that there's different levels of the sport, right? And they're going to say, you boxed. And yeah, I did. I trained for 5 weeks. I trained with a professional. People don't have that opportunity. You can't walk on Yankee Stadium and say, I took ground balls and batting practice with Derek Jeter and I'm in the game. It's not going to happen that way. But I think for that, yeah, I think it answers questions about yourself. Tells you, look, to get in that ring, amateur level, whatever level, it's taking a lot. It's taking you making a commitment to yourself to prepare to get in. Because it's, at the end of the day, it's still not easy. You're already training. It's not easy to do, and it's not for everybody.
Yeah, no, it's been, and the thing is, the experience has been very rewarding for me too. And I'm grateful to say I haven't had too many days where I'm like, maybe this isn't for me, or maybe like I've probably had one day where I was like, oh man. And I think it was just because I got bullied sparring I think I went against like 4 different sparring opponents when I was like just starting, which is, I'm still basically just starting, but you know what I'm saying? No, I just like, I got bullied, but also getting bullied makes you better. Cause then I was like, okay, I'm never going to let that happen again. And then all of a sudden my defense got better. And then, okay, my defense is better now. I know how to protect myself. Let me try to get some punches out there. Okay, now I'm landing some punches. Okay, let's try to like really dial that in, So it's been like a process, and, again, watching the tape has been good, being patient with myself. But the one thing that I am not is a quitter. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I will see this thing all the way through. I told everybody that I'm more likely to get knocked out than I am to quit, because I just will never quit, Yeah,
I don't know about that. So, and this is a full-blown event. I believe there's 14 or 15 fights on this event. What is your anticipation for fight night? Like, you haven't experienced it yet. So it's all on Thursday. It's going to really be surreal when you go to bed. And then, you're weighing in on Friday when you get to the fights. What is your preparation now for the next week and change to get ready for this fight?
Yeah, just being patient with my body. I'm giving myself a little recovery right now. I want to stay on, my training and everything, get back, and I really want to get a couple more sparring, sessions off, so that I'm just feeling more confident in that. But, just being patient with yourself. And I just know that I'm the type of person when the pressure's on and I need to perform, I always do. It's for my entire everything. Like, if I need to get something done, like, I figure it out. And so I'm ready. I'm excited. I think I'm gonna end up surprising a lot of people too, who like, not necessarily, they just don't see me as a boxer. You know what I mean? Amateur or not, they don't see that for me.
When you don't get exposed to the world, most people say, why?
Yeah.
What are you there for? What are you doing? But the experience of it all right now, you're blending work and this. Is that tough for you right now between, managing and balancing both?
I definitely am prioritizing the fight, and, I've definitely gone a little bit more quiet on my social media right now, but I think it's just sometimes you got to take time for you and get yourself right. And, I just want to focus on this fight because I know it's like the most important thing in front of me right now. Yeah. So I got to give it the proper time that needs. And, So no, it's not that tough. I just like am prioritizing the fight over like some of my other social media stuff because, as soon as November 15th comes, I'm back at everything else I need to get going again. So it'll be there when I'm done.
When you decided to take this journey, right? Now you talked about balancing your life and prioritizing. Were there any other changes that once you got into the training end of it, the way you're eating, the way your lifestyle prior to that, did you make any other adjustments?
Yeah, no, I've been dieting pretty heavy. You caught me with a bake or a sausage, egg, and cheese this morning. Like,
it's all good.
I'll be honest because I love the place downstairs and I'm only here ever so often. But no, I've been dieting pretty heavy. Like when I started this, and keep in mind this isn't that long ago, I was probably like 188. Dude, I weighed in at 173 the other day. You know what I mean? So I lost a lot of weight.
No, you look good. The last time I saw you, you were dead tired because you were doing content here. Look, you were shot. You guys were doing before Ian went on Mr. Beast, getting all the content. But you look good. You look in good shape.
Thank you, dude. Yeah, I've definitely slimmed up. Definitely feeling leaner, feeling better control of my body. You know what I mean? Like my mind, what's it called? Like the hand coordination. But coordination is definitely better.
Now, prior to boxing, was there anything that you did in high school, college, athletics, or was it,
Yeah, I played soccer. I'm pretty fast. You wouldn't expect it, but I'm like pretty. And it's funny, like when I posted a video of me jump roping, a lot of people it's just funny. A lot of people were. I hate complimenting. Like I don't want to compliment myself, but people were complimenting my legs, and I just thought it was like really silly. I was like, oh well.
Yeah, but people don't see. You see, the one thing is right. I think
It's silly though.
Society's perception of people who are creating content, right, that they don't do anything else but create content.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't play a sport or whatever, so they just see people creating content and they figure like, oh wow, now they see you in an athletic role. It's a little surprising to some people, I believe. So
it's important though that I think anybody who's especially like a content creator, and I'll speak for myself, but I believe this is good for anybody. Like if you have a job or anything where you're primarily sitting at a desk all day, like you should balance that out with some sort of fitness, even if it's not like a professional sport, but just getting active and going to the gym because it's so good for your mental.
To me, that's why boxing and look, if you do the boxing workout, like you said, people are busy today. People don't have time to spend 2-3 hours in the gym or whatever. Even some people for an hour, 45 minutes to an hour in the gym doing a boxing workout, a couple times a week, you're going to feel good about yourself. You're going to get out any anxiety, any emotions by hitting the bag. You're going to release. You're going to walk out of there. You're going to feel, wow, a total different person. I mean, look, I'm going to be 63 and I still do my workouts. And at 60, I took a fight and nobody knew. And I just did it for myself. Like you said, the Lord, like I just wanted to do it to say I did it one more time.
Yeah, no, it's great, dude.
So, but what can we expect fight night? Because look, at the end of the day, right, you're a showman, right? You're doing content. Outfit, music, what's the walk-in going to be like? What is the build-up at are we going in stealth, under the radar, and we're just going to fight?
Yeah, no, I mean, you nailed it on the head. I am a showman, dude, and I like to entertain. So, I've been working closely with my friend Paul, course manager, and I think he's helping me get my shorts designed. And I produced my own walkout song, which I'm really excited about. And then, for the fight itself, I'm just going to give it my all. I'm just going to, everything that I've been working towards, I'm just going to give it all out there.
So you're working with Paul Garino from PG Sports?
Yes.
All right, shout out to them guys. You got some good people there. So you want to tip us off with the fight outfit? Are we going to see a little red, white, and blue like the jacket? Or
I'm hoping
you don't have to let it all out.
Yeah, no, I'm expecting. So I mean, I could tip it off because I haven't seen it myself yet. You know what I mean? So I don't even know 100%. But ideally there is some red, white, and blue in there. Some Connecticut pride in there. So. Right. Yeah, no, I'm excited to see what it looks like, and I'd imagine it's happening pretty soon, but yeah, no, I sent all my ideas out, and I'm kind of just letting the designer, do what they do,
Put it together.
Yeah.
Leading up to fight day, any other special preparation? You're gonna go under the radar fight day? You're gonna go dark?
You know,
with the phone, the social media, or you're gonna pump it right into the ring?
You know, it's fun. I'm already, in the way I look at it right now, I'm already kind of like dark on social media, you know, where it's like I haven't been like nobody has seen where I'm at in my training right now. You know what I mean? And that's intentional too, because I just don't want, I want to surprise people, you know?
Listen, I know it's important to promote.
Yeah.
Trust me, I really do, from every aspect of fighters, especially in today's day and age when you're trying to get some recognition for fighters, you're trying to get into bigger fights. It's important that people see you, that you have some sort of presence on social media. It's a good and bad thing. But I'm also a believer of when you're fighting at any level, you go dark.
Yeah.
You can't let people, look, when it comes to fights, I'm a stalker. And what does that mean is that means just like I'm looking for tape on you. I'm looking for content on you. I'm looking for something to give my guy an advantage of what you're doing. So
1,000%, dude.
If you're on social media eating out during fight week, well, maybe that's, or I can see something that you're doing, because a lot of guys like to release stuff and some don't. I don't. I mean, it's important, but it's hard to train and worry about, okay, did you get that shot? Oh, dude, no. I think it's a little bit of a distraction.
Well, that's why I've been dark on social media now, dude. There's not a clip out there of like, where, because I just, for the reason you said, I don't want to be read. You know what I mean? And like, people might see things and my opponent might see things in the tape that I don't. And, I don't want them to see, I want to study my own tape, but I don't want anyone else to study my tape. What
are some of the things Chordale's working with you mentally? I mean, I know he can bring it, from all the fundamental and stuff, but he's been there. He's been there in big fights. He's had some ups and downs in his career. What are the mental factors that he's working with you on?
I think specifically me, he's just trying to get that dog out of me. I think that I am somebody who is non-aggressive typically, very easygoing and passive. So, I think he's been helping me build the confidence to get these punches off and, make them strong and, in his words, make them look sexy, So I feel really good training with him. Like I said, I think he's an incredible coach. I don't think I know I would not be sitting here even doing this interview right now if it wasn't for his efforts and, helping me prepare for this fight. So there's a lot that he's been doing. And again, his patience too. Like there will be moments where I will feel that I'm doing something wrong. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I know that like, the way I'm throwing the punch or the way my stance is right now isn't 100% right, but he's not like micromanaging too, which is nice. It's not like he'll say it like when he thinks the moment needs to be said, but like he really kind of lets me figure it out for myself for a second. And I think that's been like really successful for me and like getting better too, where it's like, it just gives me the second to figure it out,
Watching yourself from the beginning when you walked into the gym here, how would you rate your progression?
Oh my God, dude. I'll show you after this, dude. I'll show you the first one and I'll show you the one from like recently. Like it's like insane. Like when I walked in, I look not like a boxer, I wouldn't say I'm all the way there. Like I think I got a lot to learn, like a lot to learn. But compared to where I started, I'm like looking way more confident. I'm looking strong. My form is better. My punches are strong. So it's like, okay, we got something here. I can't wait. Like, dude, my hook was looking like an uppercut when I started, dude. You know, so we've come a long way, and I feel very proud of the progress that I've made, but also understand I got a lot to learn. And even after this fight, I continue.
Look, it's all a learning process, even as you continue to progress, and if you continue to stay with it on the training or whatever path you choose after this. Is he bringing the dog out of you?
Oh,
because that's something like you keep saying. Are you starting to feel, with that confidence of your progression? To me, it's a natural of like, I've seen guys like you that come in the gym and now all of a sudden you got the bug.
Yeah, I definitely am feeling it more. And like, as I look at the tape back, I see like the tape, I know we've talked about it a lot, but it's really been a game changer for me because I could see where like, oh, I should have punched there. I don't know why I was like standing still. You know what I mean? So like, the dog is coming out. And every time that I've sparred, that video is the new video I watch, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So it's like the last video becomes dead to me because that person's dead in my eyes. Like, you know what I mean?
Next thing.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? So now, like, okay, this is the new version of Mike Squires. This is the version that I got to study now, and what can I do better here? Okay, we got those things better. New video. Let's watch this video now. You know what I mean? So just knowing that I get better a little bit each time is the most important thing for me too. And you can literally see the progression, but I can't wait to show you the video after. You're going to be like, oh my God.
So, you know, we talk about the video. You've been talking about this. Is that really having that visual, you know, and a lot of young and beginning fighters, for you, are you able to make that adjustment quicker by seeing the visual and understanding it, and now going back and say, okay, I can correct this. I understand what Chordale's trying to teach me here or show you in that moment?
Yeah, because the thing is, I think, you know, I've seen fights before and I know what it's supposed to look like. You know what I mean? So that when I see myself, I'm like, oh, this doesn't look like that. So watching the tape back for me personally has been absolutely tremendous. You know, that's like, because I study it, I obsess over it. I'm just like watching it like nonstop. So, you know, when I get back in there, things are going to look better because I have a better understanding of my body and, you know, what's happening where. So, and I also think that applies to like a lot of things too. Like, I don't think it just applies to boxing. You know, when I have like shows on tour and stuff, like I'll film the show too to see how, you know, I look at certain moments too to get a better understanding. So I think just like recording yourself with a lot of things you're training on could actually like help if you're, so this way you can kind of just understand how you look, you know, and I think that's important sometimes, especially when you're in a sport where, like, you know, to me, boxing, it matters how you look because coming out confident, looking confident and strong, like that makes a difference, you know?
There's a lot of factors, just what you're talking about, coming out confident, your team, your corner, all the perception that you're bringing, right? Even though you're not a professional, you're walking out as a professional. You're walking out with professional people that give you that good feeling of confidence when you walk out of the locker room. Also, what it does is when the guy from across the ring looks at you and says, oh, shit, Squires got that guy in the corner? That guy trained him? Oh, that guy? Now, all of a sudden, it starts to play with people mentally like that. You know? So
how you do anything is how you do everything. Yeah.
All right, you're a showman, right? But you haven't been on this show, right? You haven't been on a boxing show. You're going to have a lot of eyes and people. How do you think that's going to affect you? I mean, being on camera is one thing.
Yeah.
But when you have people yelling and screaming at you and you got to go out there and now it's fight night. It's real. The bell rings and you're ready to go.
I'm going to go harder, dude. I hate to say it for my opponent, but I love it, bro. Okay. You know what I mean? When I hear the crowd, like, that's like an extra battery. Like, if I was on mute, I'd get the job done. But, you know, hearing that crowd is going to give me my turbocharge I need. So, you know, I'm ready for it.
Ready for it. Fight day. Hard day.
I haven't been there yet, so I can't tell you.
It's a long wait. Okay?
Yeah.
It's a long wait from the time you get up to the time you fight.
Yeah.
Even when you get to the fight, by the time you get wrapped, it's a while. You haven't experienced that. What are your plans for fight day? I mean, have you thought anything in forward of that? And are you going to isolate yourself? Are you going to be around people?
I haven't put a lot of thought into it. But
what is it you like for your preparation? Now, I know how you prepare to do content. I know how you prepare. This is, you know, do you have when you do content, do you have something that you kind of use to prepare that kind of like, okay, this is my routine. This is what I do.
I'm able to turn the thing on. I have like this thing that I could just like turn on, you know what I mean? So it's like for fight day, I imagine I'll probably like rest in the morning, you know, keep it easy on myself, just low-key day, make sure I'm eating properly, you know what I mean? Make sure I'm like fueled for the fight. I think that's going to be big. You know, I guess ideally my friends are around me. I'd love to have them. Not my mom though. I love her to death, but she's going to make me too nervous.
What about your girlfriend?
Yeah, no, she's ready. She's good too. She's like ready. Like
She's holding the bucket in the corner. She's ready to kick you in the ass, push you back out there, and start the fight.
Yeah, dude.
So that's good. I mean, that's a good.
She's throwing jabs at me, and I'm blocking them in the kitchen, dude. You know what I mean?
Beautiful.
So it's like, yeah. So
Beautiful.
no, she's.
So yeah, having the support is. I get the mom stuff.
Yeah, no, she doesn't want to see me fight. So like, I can't. Love her, but
she's got to stay in the hall fight night.
She got it. Like, yeah, we'll talk the following morning.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah, but I obviously love my mom. I just, I get it. I just gotta watch.
She's your mom.
Yeah, she doesn't want to see me. She's gonna be second guessing up until the last second.
So, support for the fight obviously sounds like you have a lot of people coming.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, but I'm really grateful. Is
that something? Look, make you a little nervous that you got everybody around you here and make you want to perform better?
It doesn't make me nervous, but I'm grateful because I'm going to be able to make a lot of people proud that night.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you still got one more week.
I'm ready for it.
What's Chordale got in store for you for the rest going out the door?
Yeah, so we're resting, and I think we're just getting back to it. I think sparring, and then, he's got me drilling up and just trying to, get everything muscle memory locked in, making everything look better with each rep. And it's been fun. And we've been training a lot too, so it's like.
Yeah, you've put a lot in a short amount of time, which is, did you think the training was as tough as it is?
It definitely was tough. I was ready for it though, because even with my strength and conditioning, I love it there, but I kind of was already mentally ready for a step up, so the fight actually came at a great time for me where I was already kind of thinking of how do I up my fitness?
Right. What's the next
thing?
Goal,
so
right.
It actually came at a good time where I felt very ready for it. But yeah, I will say we'll see, dude, because just when I think we're done sometimes with the core, he always throws an extra one in. So, I just, trusting the process and trusting him completely,
Well, the good thing is that you were conditioned before. See, most people who come in the game you have to get them in shape, right, before we could start working with boxing. So if you're physically in shape a little bit before, now it makes the transition into working on the boxing easy because you're going to have boxing fatigue no matter what, even if you're doing conditioning and strength and conditioning work anyway, because we're going to find a way to burn you. But, that process was good that you had a little bit of a jump start going in. But to fast forward a little bit here, and not to get past November 14th.
Yeah.
You think there's more aspirations to do this again?
I definitely plan on continuing the training part of it. I don't see myself fighting again. In a perfect world, I take this win and I'm undefeated, and we call it that for the rest of life.
We put it on the shelf and say I'm 1-0, and I keep my O.
Yeah, that's in a perfect world, But who knows? I mean, there's I think that's the beautiful thing where it's I could change my mind, and if the I didn't think I was going to end up boxing this year, but sometimes opportunities present themselves, and
you look at some of the stuff you did right this year. You cleaned the building, you're out, you're in the community now, and now you're boxing. So what is the response from people around you, not your peers, not your friends and your family, that all of a sudden now they see you, right, doing a lot of community service. Now you're taking on another, venture for yourself. What is that response?
At least to my face. I'm sure there are people who are not giving me this to my face and talking whatever they're talking behind my back, but to my face, a lot of people show me respect. And I think it's because, I've kept my word on everything that I've ever done, where it's whether it was doing a song with artists from every single state, Macy's, anything that I've done, I've kept my word and done it, So I think that when I say I'm going to do something, I always do it and I come through. Whether I don't know what it looks like on the end always, but I will hold my own always.
So just to kind of say something on that, and we didn't talk about this, the 50 Songs Project.
Yeah.
50 states, right?
Yeah.
Songs per state, right? Correct me if I'm saying it wrong.
No, that's good, yeah.
Okay. Took you a long time.
Yeah.
Because I remember first meeting you here over a year ago, you were working on that, and how your perseverance is there to do stuff like that, to stay dedicated and everything else like that. I mean, so I think we're going to see, you be very successful on November 14th, and surprise a lot of people because you have that in you. You have that determination in you. And that's part of what we see in fighters, right? Because, if there's adversity through everything you've been doing in your life for the last year or so, to get to where you are now.
Yeah. Well, first off, thank you, dude. And I think you're right, man. I'm not somebody to give up or bow down easy, so I think it applies to every single thing that I do, and I don't see this fight being any different.
Do you think by training has given you a different perspective in what you do and how you do it now?
Oh, yeah. I think a lot of the discipline and mental and I think the big thing that I just learned from this year, whether it was boxing or Macy's or anything, it's just the possibilities for you are way more than what you think, So did I see myself boxing at the top of the year? No, but now that I'm here and doing it, it's
But you didn't see yourself cleaning the building either.
No one saw that one coming.
Okay, so we don't know what's in store for us, right?
Yeah.
With all of this happening, I'm sure you're getting a lot of people throwing a lot of stuff across your desk. Hey, Mike, what about this? What about that? What about this? How, without tipping your hand, it's two questions, right? What are you looking at for the future for Mike Squires as far as projects? And how do you determine what projects you want to work on for the future?
Yeah, I definitely want to stay in the realm of community projects. I'm really enjoying the process of getting it done. It's really rewarding for me. And I think it's a good way to lead by example too, because now because of the whole Macy's thing, I have a ton of kids that follow me. So, just being a good influence to them, I think that's very important to me, and just showing that you can really, what's possible with your life. You can really do something great and just go out there and do it. I know it sounds silly, but that's what Macy's was. I just went out there and did it. For the future though, I don't know, man. I think part of it is just rolling with the punches and kind of seeing what feels right. I know it's going to sound cliche, but it's just got to feel right in my heart. You know what I mean? The projects I take on, I got to look, I was how does this impact people? Does this make a difference? Especially with the community stuff, where it's sometimes I'll get hit with projects that are more self-serving than people might realize. They might hit me with a thing that only helps a couple people, which I'm always down to take on.
Yeah.
But then there are projects where I'm oh, this would make a difference for a lot of people and would be easy to do, relatively. So I don't know. I just kind of and I just listen to the people. I really genuinely listen to what people say. As far as my own projects, I want to, I have to continue with my music projects because that's how I make my living. So, working on those. I have a couple songs up my sleeve that I'm excited about. And then, I don't know, my life has changed so much this year that I'm really open to the possibilities of what it could be. You know what I mean? There's not one.
Do you
single
feel
thing.
more in the driver's seat this year? A little bit?
Oh, yeah. No, this year, 2025 was the best year of my life. The year's not over yet, so I've been kind of I don't want to call it too early, you know what I mean? But even if let's just say it was based on this 10-month period, it's the best year of my life so far. And, I really would love to end this year strong and really be able to stamp and say it is the best year of my life. But it's been really good, and it's been maybe a lot of it was hard work. A lot of it was luck. You know what I mean? But it's been
you got a little bit of everything going on right there.
Yeah.
And in the beginning of this process, real quick, is could you have envisioned this, or where you are today and where you're going? Because the story's not over. It's you're just beginning. Was that kind of the goal when you started this, to envision to be a full-time creator, being able to pick and choose the projects now that you do that are meaningful, impactful, and to get it out there and say, you know what, he's doing some really, really good stuff. We like what he's putting out there. It's not just the everyday people putting content up for the heck of it.
Yeah.
There's a thought process behind it.
Yeah, and I've always seen myself as a content creator, but I didn't know it was going to be in the capacity in which it is now. I didn't know I was going to be I didn't know that I was going to be able to be in a position to help the community out. And I think like to me, it's like one of the. I talk with my girlfriend about this all the time, but it's like one of the coolest things to get, you know, a little bit more popular for, because it's like one, it truly does speak to me, and I like really care and I'm passionate about it, and two, like, you know, if I can like just make people's day a little bit better, it's like it's really a rewarding feeling, and I love it. I enjoy doing it.
I think when you like what you do and you're passionate about it, you can get behind it, and it has a meaning.
Yeah.
I know locally, but has there been people more around the states reaching out to you after they see your stuff and saying, "Hey, Mike, we'd like you to come out here," or "Hey, would you consider doing something for our community other than, you know, Stamford, from where you're from?" And
it's been crazy. At the height of Macy's, I was getting messages from all around the world, dude. You know, I got people from Australia messaging me saying that they were seeing this thing, and it was, you know, it just was really overwhelming in that moment, you know, and I just was doing my best to respond to everybody as much as I can. But, you know, a lot of people want to see me do more in like other communities in Connecticut too and things like that. And I'm very open to it, but my heart's in Stamford, you know what I mean? And I'm like happy to be a part, but my goal is like, you know, if I could just keep doing what I'm doing in Stamford, maybe there'll be another quote unquote Mike Squires to do it in their community too. And like, you know, just be able to step up, because I think there's room for a lot of people that could help their community too. And just, if they could figure it out, you know, it's like sometimes it's a tricky battle, which I'm learning in real time, you know, but I think once you're able to get over that hump, it becomes a lot easier.
Well, I think, you know what, to commend you as a young man, which we don't see a lot of young individuals taking on these responsibilities or caring about where they grow up. And I commend you on that, because one, it says a lot about you and the type of person you are. So, you know, I think that you can become a role model to other people to say, look, he just did this because, you know, he wanted to do it. He got behind it. He's a community-driven people. He lives here. He wants the community be better. Plus, also, I think, you know what, with you kind of spearing that up, Stamford's, you know, become a younger people's place to live. We have a lot of restaurants, a lot of nightlife there, new buildings over there, activities happening more and more. So see that kind of regentrification of the area is pretty good. So I think people can kind of learn from it and say, it didn't take much. So it wasn't a lot of money. You know, at the end of the day, okay, we got this, we got that, we got a building clean. What does it take? You had 400 volunteers cleaning up a city. It's big.
Yeah, it's just sometimes it just takes people getting up and doing it. I know that sounds crazy, but like, you just got to get out there and do it. And like, you can make a lot happen for very little. You just got to put in the sweat equity sometimes.
Put a little sweat equity, think outside the box, and, you know, get a little momentum. But let's get back to the 14th. Let's get you. So why don't you promote November 14th for yourself here, because, you know, this is what it's about. I will be there. We have a kid fighting, so I'm excited to see you fight.
Let's go, dude.
All right? And we'll definitely be rooting for you and your team over there. Go for it. Make the promotion.
Oh, yeah. November 14th. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, because I can't guarantee that I'll ever do this again. November 14th, I will be fighting my opponent, whose name I can't remember. He called me out, dude. I don't like, Cord told me he called my name out, and I forget.
Even better.
Yeah, my bad. It's not even like a disrespect. I'm not trying to disrespect.
This is about you. We're not worried about the opponent.
Yeah, I'm not trying to disrespect.
We'll say his name after you beat him.
Yeah. But I'm not trying to disrespect, though. But I am going to come in there and give it my all. So if you guys are ready for the fight of a lifetime, be there November 14th, the Hyatt in Greenwich. I'll be fighting, which is crazy to say, but I will be fighting, and we're gonna give it our all.
Yeah. So, you know, look, you can reach out to Mike on his social media. I don't know if he's going to answer you in the next week, because he's going to lock in. He's going a little dark, but I know you can reach out to the guys at Revolution Boxing in Stamford, Ahmad Mickens, Chordale Booker, Paul Guarino at PG Sports. They will assist you in tickets, the event of where it is. From a coach's point, I've watched shows like this. I've had guys involved on these shows. It's an exciting night of boxing. It's in a great area, Greenwich Hyatt. It is an event. It's just not a boxing event. I believe there's dinner and cocktail or a buffet. It is for charity out there. So, you people break your wallets open up, and you're going to get to see not only people out there for the first time boxing, but you're going to see good boxing. These gentlemen have put a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of sweat in here to go out there and to be the best versions of themselves. So you're not going to see Mike Squires, the content creator. You're going to see Mike Squires, the fighter, on November 14th.
It's just another cleanup, dude. I got one more cleanup, dude.
There's one more cleanup.
One more cleanup, dude.
We're going to do it in the ring here. So please, check it out. Go to his social media. You can hit me up. I can give you information also on this. November 14th, Greenwich Hyatt. We got Mike Squires fighting on a White Collar Show. This is Coach Dave McDonough. Train hard, train smart, and we'll see you in the next round.